Okay, so today I spent my time going over the closed Spanish, and I put most of the moves into the move trainer, but pretty much all of them, so that's pretty much done. But unfortunately, that means I didn't really spend as much time analyzing it, because that takes a lot, and it's also really like mentally taxing, I think, because of all the light coming from the computer screen. So that was something. So I don't really have too much to go over. I mean, I could talk about it. I mean, I definitely took in some information going through moves for hours, but I haven't really thought about it. So I decided to stay consistent, and so I don't stop doing this because I missed one day that I would just play chess instead. And because I'm tired, I'm going to play on Elite Chess, which I think I used for the analysis of the last video, but I mostly play on chess.com. The main reason I have a Elite Chess account is for when I feel like I'm going to play subpar, and I don't mind losing ELO, so... Okay, give me white and give me Roy Lopez. No. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I don't like playing against e4, because I can't play the King's Indian. I plan on learning the modern, but I haven't, so I don't really want to go for this. I don't like playing the Italian, but I could go for that. I have a bunch of experience in the Petrov, but I don't really want to play that. But I guess I'll play that here. I kind of wish I went knight c6, but it's fine. Okay. They're presumably going there. I think this is also a move. Like I played in the candidates, maybe, I don't know. Or maybe it's this, I don't know. What does I think it was like Blue Bomb playing that. I know Magnus has played one of those moves before. I think the move is just d5. I could be incorrect though. And but I'm looking to just castle, I guess. I believe that's incorrect, but I don't know why. Yeah, I think you're supposed to wait for that. I think I have a better move than c6, but I have no clue what it is. Do I check? What if I check? That might be why. Yeah, that might be why this is bad. Because of this. I'm gonna assume that's the case, because I'm pretty sure that's a bad move. Not losing or anything, obviously, but I don't think that's right. I think there are times later on in which this is a very good move. I don't think it's a good move here. And with this knight attacking these squares, I think maybe that can be pretty decent for me. In at least completely equalizing. If not getting an advantage. Although I don't really see where their advantage is at the end of this, because I might have to like do this, but I'll castle and everything will be fine. They'll have an isolated pawn, which is nice. Especially with some minor pieces traded off, so they don't really have much of an attack. I should be able to guard everything pretty easily. Okay, so they play this. I could try to save the bishop pair, eh? I mean, taking with this is almost certainly fine first. I don't see why this wouldn't be good. Unless I'm concerned about this queen move. But I don't see why it would be. Maybe it's a bit annoying because of that. But wait, can I just drop back? Here, here, here. And they're just losing. So that's not a concern. So let's just play this first, because this can't be wrong. I mean, it could be, but I don't think it is. Now I decide whether or not I want to take with the bishop after they play this. Do I want to play bishop takes? Do I want to play pawn takes? Do I want to castle? A couple of choices. Do I have any way to add pressure? I don't think so. This is a move, but probably not a very good one. Yeah, I could take, but I don't see why I would immediately. I'm just gonna castle. Should be perfectly fine. To take here, this should be fine. and it seems that they're a bit weak. I did give them the opportunity to push the c-pawn, but it's probably but then that, so I'm gonna have to trade. So maybe there's an issue there. Maybe because taking this would be nice, so they have an isolated pawn. Whereas this here, my pawn's blocking any attacks from like rooks or whatever. And okay, we're gonna take and take. And they're gonna take with the bishop, and I don't know. It'll be fine. Oh, I could also throw in a rook check. Wait, do they blunder? They have this move, but then I have that move. Wait, what's wrong with this? Why isn't this? Well, I guess they just play that. Will I ever have this? So this. Let's just say they take with the queen. Go here. Well, I might as well put it on the board, right? Because this is, I am going to play this. There's no way I don't play this, and there's no reason to move the queen there or anything. This is definitely a correct move. Okay, so now I have to figure out what I'm gonna do. So takes. If they take here, I go here. But that doesn't do anything special. Okay, so either I take or I drop the bishop back to f whatever. Does this make sense? Well, this pawn would be weak if I fianchettoed. This would be a pretty good diagonal if they push. And with that in mind, that might make this tempting, as opposed to just taking the knight. Although, I go here. Presumably they castle, so that they can play bishop takes after I take here. If I go here and they push, I think that was kind of my concern. Cause, yeah, I don't know, but this should be good for me. I just, I wish there's a little more. But yeah, I should probably keep the bishop pair. I think this is what a grandmaster would play. Maybe it's not optimal for me, but it does seem like it's the best move in the position. So now they decide between this and castling, I believe. Every other move looks kind of nonsensical to me. Okay, and I'm tempted to just take this because, well, I would like to go for this. However, with the fact that I'm probably going to be playing g6 and fianchettoing it, this probably is good for me, maybe. But I don't like it. Not a fan, personally. But it is true that the bishop gets active, and it's like, why would I allow this? Granted, after takes, they can still move the bishop here, attacking the queen. So, I don't think there's really any sense in that. I'm going to take, and I'm going to just try to play against this pawn, and maybe this diagonal as well. I wonder, so it's just, I'm not a fan. I have the bishop pair. They have an isolated pawn. This is good for me, but to have an actual advantage, it requires precision. This is not trivial in my mind. This, can I ever just, I mean, I wouldn't mind trading these knights. Where am I trying to relocate this to? I also really would like to, actually I can just develop but that would get rid of the bishop pair. But is that really an issue? Because is this bishop really good? The bishop pair isn't necessarily good, but this dark squared bishop is very good. So I'm still glad that I preserved the dark squared bishop, because this is very good, regardless of whether or not I have the bishop pair. As for this, I mean that, but they're opening up the diagonal. I could start by fianchettoing. I really should get pieces out though, so one of these moves. I mean, am I trying to play this? I really want to be stacking up against here, but with all these minor pieces, it is still a little difficult, and they're going to have an attack. I would like to trade. They have an isolated pawn. Let's forget about the bishop pair. That's stupid. Let's just trade pieces, eh? So this is pretty good. If they play h3, is that worth it? Should I drop back? What exactly is going on? The issue is, if they play h3, I might as well just take, because they can just move the queen at any point. So my goal is to get rid of the light square bishop. It's not a good piece. Particularly, it seems. And then maybe they have one last knight. But it's just not the most accurate immediate plan. But I'm also maybe spending too much time, and I should just go. Whether or not I'm making the best move, like, who cares? If this pushes... It's... What if I play this, just to stop any pushing ever? Yeah, that seems like a good move. Let's just make a move. I gotta go. Is this ever an issue? Well, currently it would be hanging. So. But this pawn is kind of weak. There's no rook to defend it unless I play like that. But then, you know, they're gonna just cause more pressure to unfold, and, you know, I mean, I can't actually guard against these two pieces with the queen. That's not how that works. Okay, they play this, which I did not consider. Do I care though? How are they gonna play against this move, for example? I think the answer is kind of just they aren't. And this bishop is getting forced off this diagonal with this move, although I'm not really trying to play that move. It's quite a bad move. So I think this is probably best. Just keep spying the pawn, opens up room for my rook. I can play this maybe. Yeah. Can their knight attack me? Yes, it can. The knight can attack. No, it can't though, because I have that. I believe this is a safe move. And then this should be a strong move, although they're going to play this. And the question is, does that prevent this? So if I go, they go here, I go here. Takes. Yeah. Or, no, but I don't want to take with the pawn. That's... So takes. I mean, I can trade everything off, but then their pawn's less weak. I don't want to take like this though, that's a little ridiculous, especially because it gives them access to the back rank. But I can play that, and things will turn out no, but I don't... Fuck. I messed this up. A little bit, at least. This is to some degree incorrect. Do I just trade everything? I don't want to trade everything off. I do have a strong grip on this square. So as long as this pawn isn't immediately falling, which it might be, it is kind of good for me. But I do think it is immediately falling, which is a big issue. So I messed up. I just don't want to give them access to the back rank, because of course I don't. Takes here. Takes. That's just so bad. But... And what if they don't play that? Well, no, but yeah, that's fine. So, unfortunately, I do believe I have to play like this. They have this coming. Which I didn't consider, actually. Is that a big deal? Does this make it so my plan doesn't work? If I go here, they go here. Well, maybe I go like here. Okay. The geometry of the knights is really annoying. As long as I keep spying this pawn, though. Here. And it's like, what are they gonna do, really? I think it's fine. So I think my plan is okay. I don't think this is incorrect. I do believe this works. But I definitely have not played this optimally. I should have a very comfortable position that's better. So here they either play this move or they retreat the bishop to some square. Presumably one of these two. This is probably a bit better, but it's hard to say. Because I don't really know what this is doing. The turn spent fianchettoing is probably too slow at this stage of the game. So this knight, so it's just kind of like chilling there. And this is the only real square. So I think either this move or this move will come. This move I'm most afraid of. Bishop moving is whatever. Then I know at least my plan won't like lose me the game. Although the knight's not getting off the back rank, so I didn't really fully consider that. But does it need to? If I do like this, for example, they go to the back rank, I go here, and you know, maybe they try to trade. So they do play this, but I think I have this. But then maybe they have this. No, wait, I can just take that. No, but that's check, so I can't. So if I go here, then what are they gonna do? I don't think this is an issue. I go here. I think they just have to move the bishop, which is fine with me. What can they do that's annoying? The bishop's hanging. There's only so much they have. Yeah, I do believe this works. So now they move the bishop here, presumably, or here. This seems super duper illogical, so I don't think they'll make that move. This is looking a little annoying for them, but they can just always move the knight. But then I can kick the knight, but have to probably kick the knight before, you know, whatever happens, because ideas of g6, but maybe ideas of g6 don't work in that case as they don't work now. I don't know. But yeah, so they play this move. Ideas are h6, this, moving the knights, maybe that, I don't know. They go here. I go here, they go here. And there's no point to any of this, was there? I mean, I really need to get these pieces out of here. Bishop can always defend the rook, which is important. But the bishop ending up on a8 with this pawn here is disgusting. They also have to worry about back rank though, which is something I should note. They haven't done anything to deal with this actually. So if the rook were to go to e1 or e8, I guess, currently, they would be losing. Or no, they have the bishop. No, they have the bishop! Okay. So no, there's no back rank threat because of this bishop. I really should have come up with a move. Okay, so they're threatening a lot of ways to... But this is taken, so it's only really this square through which they have access. So this is a good idea, especially with like this and this. But this is... I don't know, in the future this will be valuable. Should it be the move I make immediately? I don't know, but it makes sense. This move and this move, because going back here does defend that. I think I just want to stop them from checkmating me. So I'm going to play this, which covers a lot of ideas of theirs with the knights. And I'm going to end up moving the queen back to finish the subpar development of my pieces here. Yes, queen c7 is currently the idea that I'm trying to play above all else. So they try to get rid of their isolated pawn. which would also attack that, and they're threatening ideas against the rook too. Yeah, this is a good idea. I didn't see this. I don't really have any big threats. I don't see any tactics. Yeah, this is problematic. Here. And how do I deal with defending the rook? I think I just go back. But the issue is this pawn more so than anything. I mean, I could start with the fianchetto here. Because they're doing this, which will open up stuff for my bishop. Yeah, I messed up really badly. Let's see. Wait, what if I play this? Is this a great move? What would they do about it? They would have to move the knight somewhere, which... this is the only square, which is hung, so yeah, there's no squares. Or they could defend it, and then I have problems later on, but with this all happening, I've developed a piece, and now, but there's my rooks, there's no rook to connect to my rooks, so, here, there I just don't take immediately. So maybe there, here, there, and I'm running out of time. I'm not going to calculate it all. I'm just going to assume that this works to some degree. That is useful, and I hope that there's nothing like here that just loses. Their king should be weak. I should have checks, except I don't really have checks actually, if they don't move it. But yeah, because here, I'd have to take this before there's any ideas, because this square is covered, this square is covered. So there's no checks to try and do anything there. Yeah, this knight is a big liability. If I can get out of this with even material though, in terms of pawns, I might... Oh, no, okay. But yeah, if I can get out of this with everything kind of like even and my pieces positioned well, I think my pieces will probably have more going on slightly. But it's not anything winning. If anything, I'm worse. If I'm better like so marginally, but I don't think I'm better. This is not fun to play. From a practical standpoint, I definitely feel worse. I would rather have my opponent's position, I think. Especially with this much time left. One thing to note is, well, the bishop's not going here. I don't think that's going to happen. But if that were to happen, they would no longer be defending back rank. But that's probably not relevant. My queen's probably going to move back, so I don't really know if I care. But yeah, this and their queen attacking me is a big issue. Okay, they move that knight back to defend the knight. So takes, blah blah blah. What happens if I push this? They take this here. What if I threaten checkmate? Well, that's not going to be useful because I'm not actually ever threatening checkmate. But you know, the hope is all there. Do I have to trade this off because this is kind of a bad piece? Well, does their knight have any scores anyways? Not really. Well, it's going to defend that, but their other knight's going to defend it if I trade it off. So I'm going to go back to this square. Takes, takes, takes. Then I'm active, and I don't mind it so much. Yeah, I don't like it, but it's something. I mean, I could also take with the queen, which would preserve material, except it wouldn't because of that. If they were to do that, I could just move. Probably, right? Or could I not? Wait, maybe I'm just getting kind of pinned in that scenario. This might not do anything, actually. I might be losing at this point. Because if they take it, it's not like, what am I supposed to do? Wait, no. If they take it, I take it. Then if they take back, I take it. And then, no, but then there's a rook. There's a rook. Well, I can attack the queen, but then they just take this. And then, you know, it just doesn't work out because of the bishop. My rook is just too trapped. And this move just doesn't do anything. Or it does something, it loses. Maybe it doesn't. It's not that bad if I just deal with it immediately. Yeah, I think I just take it, right? Then I move, but then I'm getting pinned, but then there's that. I think we're maybe fine. I don't really feel like I have time to calculate this all. I have no clue whether or not this works. But my pieces are getting into the game at least. I guess I don't know. Like, I do feel like if I get out of this, I'm a bit more active with my pieces. My bishops are kind of nice, but that's first of all if I get out of this. But also, it's just like it's not really much of anything. It's not enough to compensate for being down a pawn. So if they take this, what I'm gonna play. I'm thinking this immediately. Yeah, okay, I should move the knights. This is just asking to get pinned or whatever. It's like, what's the point? So I move the knights. Can't go here, and the bishop doesn't do anything to help with that. Why would I go to the back rank? Here, it doesn't seem good. I don't have anything defending it. They're not attacking my bishop, so I don't have to move it immediately. Do they have any like actual threats? No. I don't think they have any like crazy sacks or anything. Maybe I should get this bishop out of here though pretty quickly. Yeah, maybe this bishop is keeping it around, especially with such low time, is maybe a bad practical choice, but also maybe it's just bad to keep it around the way I am. Because as nice as it is to have a bishop, it's just like, we are threatening this. They do have to make sure that these pieces stay defending each other properly. They definitely have room to go wrong. And I would believe it if this position was a draw with perfect play, but I have a feeling it might be losing. But it might not be. Okay, they push that. If I attack the queen, it just moves. We're going for like what, checkmate now? Probably. If they go here though, then they take it with a bishop. It's like, what's the point? I'm gonna just attack the bishop, eh? Yeah, let's go for it. Also, maybe could have tried this. And they'd end up like up a pawn, probably. I mean, 2 pawns for a bit, but it's a knight. Yeah, no. I mean, they're already up a pawn, so. But yeah, that just looks a little too powerful for them. Here they have to like actually work to get the pawns off the board, whereas in that case it's just a completely passed. Could also maybe try attacking the queen with the bishop, but I don't know if that does anything. I don't really have the time to calculate all of these lines. So they're moving the bishop. I should start calculating this. They're moving the bishop somewhere. Presumably. I don't know. Or, well, their bishop's not hanging, because it is defended by the queen, which actually I didn't notice, but, you know, I just sounds like you're asking for trouble. Seems like that. And, you know, there are also ideas of this, and maybe that does something. To go there, trying to push the pawns, also offering a trade. How do I feel about this trade? Takes. Yeah, I might be able to get something going. And if I can get an opposite color bishop endgame, it's really nice. But otherwise, it's just not it. This is also like a decent square, eh? What are they gonna do about that? This seems like a bad move. They could move the bishop, but like, eh. They move the bishop is like kind of confusing as to why they made the last move. Where are they gonna move the bishop to? Just back? That might be a good move for them to do. But yeah, I can do this, and then I can start maybe moving the knight around. Trying to make play with that. Oh, I should also keep in mind that these knights can move around. In this case, though, it would be a blunder, but could maybe be a move that's an issue after, like, let's say this and then this. Yeah, I don't really know what I'd do there. So I could trade to get rid of that possibility at some point if needed, but we'll see. Oh, they're attacking my bishop. Luckily their bishop's hanging. I didn't realize that they're attacking my bishop actually at all. Like, that did not cross my mind. Shit. But I don't think there's a tactic blunder. I think at worst we trade bishops. And you know, I think getting my queen over to the over to this rank, you know, threatening the pawn and all that, is fine. But yeah, I actually did not see that bishop's hanging. That's not good. Please just take the bishop, trade, or no, burn your clock. But I'm scared that there is some weird tactic. Probably not though. So what are they gonna do? This bishop's under attack. Can't move anywhere that's like too beneficial. I mean, they could deliver this check, and then now my king's checkable with the queen on a light square. But other than that, I don't really see much better for them. Although that's not necessarily bad. It's quite good for them. They probably should play this, and then this, and then this. Then maybe I just move my king back, and it's a bit better than this, because my queen is in a better position here. I'd rather move my queen here than here. Although I'm not sure I'd move my king back, but if I don't, then I gotta watch out for this pawn, I gotta watch out for checks, and all that, so I probably will just move my king back, especially with low time. Maybe they found some tactic that they think absolutely wins. That's really the only way you could justify spending this much time here. You're like, okay, well, I super duper win. How do I not win? Because if what I found does work, then I just win. So you just keep calculating to make sure if there's some like risk behind it, but it is like super winning. But here, I don't think that's the case, and I think they're just wasting time. And they'd be better off literally like playing any move that doesn't blunder. Like, this would have been better than spending that much time. This would have been better than spending that much time. This would have been better than spending that much time. This would have been better than spending that much time. This would have been better than spending that much time. Like, literally anything would have been better than spending that much time. Maybe they don't see that the bishop's hanging, and they're like, oh no, I gotta move my bishop. I don't know. But then they just moved the bishop. Maybe they left. I don't know what's happening. I don't like this, because now I feel like I've won, and then they're just gonna flag. Right, so I feel like I've won, so now after they move, I'm gonna like be mentally over. It's gonna be mentally done. Okay, I won. Maybe they didn't realize the time situation? I don't know. So let's just go through it without the engine. Maybe I should, because I have a physical chessboard right next to me, which I think is good for the, making the connection in your mind. Maybe I should go through the game on the chessboard. But then I'd have to set up the starting position. That's so much work. We'll just use this. E4, E5, knight 3, knight 6, blah, blah. Okay, they play this. I played this. And then they played this. So I'm pretty sure this is fine. I'm going to turn the engine on here, because I'm pretty sure I'm correct, and I'm just D5, yeah, good. They played this, and this is a bad move, and I find the right move here. Okay. So I find the right move, and I think I'll keep the engine on for this right now, although maybe I'll change it. So they play this, and knight takes is Coolio. Why is bishop takes different? Bishop take, well, yeah, I guess because I save my bishop in the game. But yeah, I do play knight takes. And they just take it back. I castle, I believe I made that move. Okay, wait, let me turn this off, because I think there's something I actually do want to think about. So they do this, and I do this, check. Yeah, it's probably, and I think saving this is probably optimal. But there are also ideas of just taking the knight, taking this, and then they have this isolated pawn. And in the game, my bishop wasn't actually very useful, but I don't think that's necessarily a fault of putting it here, but rather a fault of a move I made later on that maybe like took me kind of out of the game. I do think I will immediately analyze this. Okay, so they play a3, best move. They want me to take it, but it doesn't mind the rook move. I think both are logical. Engine shows this, actually. What? Bishop e7. Why? No, that's a terrible move. I guess the idea is you want to fianchetto it without playing this, so you just go here to go here. Okay, so that's kind of like my idea, but better. Because that's the idea I had, I guess. Probably in the end, but I play this, they do this. No, but here they want bishop f8 over this. So somehow they prefer this and not developing the rook immediately. Maybe to do with things on this file, because the engine recognizes that these pieces are slow to develop. I don't really know, but I find that quite interesting, because why wouldn't you want the rook on this file? But maybe the rook on this file is a liability with these pieces, making it hard to connect the rooks, as we see. With some slight inaccurate play, I actually run into issues. So I take it. I like the idea of taking it, because it gives them an isolated pawn. Engine prefers this, which does go well with this. Interesting. So I spent, and I believe they give you the time back here as well, so I spent 25 plus whatever the increment is, 10, so 35 seconds on this. Interesting. So I took it, and let me try to remember the reason. So c6 is a move I would, even if I didn't mention it, like consider, I guess. Or would I? Because if they take it, well, if they took it, I was thinking of taking it like this, but that does give them maybe tempos in the future. Although actually, no, with the knight there, the tempo's with c3, it doesn't tempo with that. I don't know, because with the locked up structure, which it really doesn't like because of this. Which I guess is the point of why this is preferable. But if they take it, what do they take back with? This pawn. And I guess maybe that has something to do with like our offensive capabilities. I don't know. I don't really get this strategically. I mean, I would say it doesn't feel very human to me, but maybe it's just not my level. And you know, a grandmaster very well may understand this, but I don't really see why I'd want this when I can get a position with this pawn isolated, or a position like that. Whereas this then makes it, well, I can still play the queen move though, so it would still be fine, except that's not what the engine wants anyways. Oops, it's not a big deal. It's not what the engine wants anyways. Like, if this, I would kind of understand it, but that's not what the engine wants. Yeah, I don't know. I thought isolated pawn or this, and not playing this kind of makes it so, okay, if you do this, I'll do this. You know, if you do this, take back. It doesn't like this as much, although it likes it more than, you know, like, if, what's the top engine move? If this, for example, well, I guess maybe this is different with the knight moved. Huh. But yeah, I guess I just misassessed this trade, although engine doesn't hate it, so, I mean, it's hard to say. Maybe it's just a different way of playing strategically, and maybe it's practically fine, I guess. But yeah, I feel like maybe going more for this, just based on my experience in the game, matters, but there are other moves. So this immediately, which is a move I kind of thought about, and then this, but I was like, okay, I probably considered the knights in this, and it was like, nah, I'll wait. But this bishop did actually cause me major problems, and is the source of a lot of the issues I faced. So, yeah. Interestingly, white wins a lot from this position. Well, no, this is the lead chess. Yeah, this is lead chess pace. So there, I don't know, I don't get it. Has this ever been reached in a master game? No. Really, white wins so much from this position. What about after bishop e6? We see 2 and 2. Granted, it's a low sample size for the fact that that's drawish, and the best move maybe it doesn't mean so much, but yeah. I get this with that. Okay, let me turn off the engine so I can continue analyzing, because this is kind of where I feel like I might have went wrong. So I played this with that, and this just kind of lets them trade this off at some point and do that. I thought I was kind of preventing it from advancing, which actually may still be the case. But this is a move I neglected, and this is really difficult to play against, especially with this rook move, because these minor pieces, if I move this, this pawn falls in the rook, and it's just a whole mess. Yeah, and this attacks this and threatens. It's just such a big deal. So I should not have allowed that. And doing that allowed that. So I had to prevent that move. And I really should have played this. So let me turn the engine back on. Yeah, okay, this is losing. And it wants me to give up, or not give up a pawn, but, or wait. Yeah, let's give up a pawn. Yeah, so it wants me to give up pawn. This was terrible for me. This, here it wants this. E5 and G5. Both are roughly the same. Let's just play this. And if this, though? Yeah, it's just all problematic. Huh? So I play this, just trying to get stuff going, and yeah, it's whatever. Takes? Uh-huh. That would open up that threat. Wait, but that's bad. Engine thinks it wait, so I think the engine thinks it works. Or no. Bishop takes b5. what is b5? This is b5. So engine looks at it and thought it worked, but it changed its mind because of some reason. They're probably winning the rook, but then some sequence leads to everything working out in the end, maybe? I don't know. That's a very long sequence that's maybe more tactically based. I don't think I'll learn much from going through it right now. So let's just get back to the game. I play this, they go back, which makes sense. Yeah, this is better than this, which I thought. I play this, precautionary, engine's fine with it, it's possibly the best move. And this, so it wants this. See, I could analyze this a bit more instead of just going, okay, engine says this, engine says that. But in this position, I don't know if there's really a point. I mean, I guess I could look at it, but I'm not too interested in it. And it seems with the engine with more thought, actually, really, yeah, just thinks these are abysmal, which I thought too. I probably looked at least one of them slightly, to some degree. I mean, I probably considered both, like, in, you know, like, half a second. I don't know whether or not I mentioned them, but go back. I go here, which is terrible. But they take, and it's fine. So I didn't really see this idea, or maybe I did, but no, I probably didn't. Then afterwards, it's like, yeah, the bishop, ooh, here? So you can't do that. And if you play this, then it's threatening that too. I see. Yeah, that's not good. They play take, which isn't so bad, and I recognize you have to take with the knight. I was taking with the queen wrong. I think it had something to do with the knight, probably. Right? Oh yeah, this bishop move is the main thing. Although the knight probably also works, right? Yeah, the knight move is also winning. I do this. They play this, I believe, which is kind of slow. That is what they play, right? Yeah. So that's a bad move. I don't play rook b8. I'm actually shocked rook b8 is even a consideration here. Or I guess I'm not shocked, because, you know, I thought maybe, but, you know, it's just so much to calculate all that. You probably have to go, like, here. So I think practically not playing rook b8 is a good idea. I play this. Engine doesn't like it, but it's probably practically fine at a human level, so I have no real qualms with that move. And I'm not gonna spend all day analyzing. I should probably get going to bed pretty soon. Okay, go rook d8. They go here. Queen trade, you know. Yeah, I could see a queen trade fizzling out to a draw, but instead I play this, attack the bishop. I missed this entirely, and yeah, it does give this tactic. Actually, interestingly, this is probably with the idea of playing this. If I had to guess, I don't know. Yeah, sure, let's play this. But yeah, this is annoying, because this and that, and then I have to go back. Whereas if they play, for example, this immediately, is probably... Okay, I would think it'd be a little less winning for white than this, but it is true that they are up a pawn, so... Yeah, this bishop move would have been very powerful. But yeah, so this is the end of the game. This is the last position. They flagged here, I believe. Right? Yeah, I mean, they didn't play that, so yeah, I think that's the end. I certainly, you know, I got a good position. I did a good job remembering that this is a wrong move. I looked at this and was like, no, I think I've seen before it written somewhere or spoken or something that you go for this in like a certain position where there's more development, but you know, showing it as like, oh, it's an inaccuracy, perhaps in this exact position, and this is very nice. But so where did I first go wrong? I castled. which is fine. None of this is abysmal yet, but taking is still fine actually. But here, I allowed them this idea. You know, I think I got kind of trapped by just having two bishops, and I think I do suffer from that sometimes. Because I think, well, oh, the bishop is probably like, you know, pretty nice to have, and if I don't see like a very concrete reason, I will automatically be like, bishops are better. And I mean, here it's a very concrete reason, but I didn't see it. But even I think I even recognized, well, this is probably safer, and I'm a bit behind in development. I should do this, but there's just the fact that it was a bishop, and I had the two bishops. You know, it's like maybe it's like nah, but I should have recognized that this was the best move, and even if I didn't see this, which I should have, but even not seeing that. It's very clear that their bishop's causing more problems, and the bishop pair isn't worth this just staring at this diagonal with, you know, ideas of this to come and me lacking in development. And, you know, long term, I have this isolated pawn, which I think I recognized I would be able to play against this isolated pawn. So it's like, okay, if I trade off the bishops, well, I have the isolated pawn to play against. But yeah, I messed up a bit. Not playing this, I should have played this move. I think doesn't engine also give that move more so than this move? I think I consider knight c6 actually, but yeah, I don't know. No, here it's kind of bad, but you know, in the future and stuff, and even there, it's not too bad. But you know, it's kind of blocked by this, and it's a bit extra weak here. Granted, I can't really target it with a piece worth less than the bishop. You know, this, whatever, the bishop goes back, and if I do trade this knight, there is no way really. I mean, I guess I have this long diagonal in which I could threaten it. And they're going to have trouble guarding it with a knight, especially if they want to keep their pieces not loose, and if their pieces are loose, I can gain extra time on that. But okay. So I think this was instructive, so long as I, you know, just keep to the idea of, hey, complete development. Yeah, it kind of almost always comes down to completing development, doesn't it? Nah, not really always. Yeah, that happens naturally a lot, but yeah, I just neglected development. I should have just been like, yeah, I'm behind in development. This is the move that gets it out. I recognized, hey, there might be some threats, but I was like, okay, no, I'm gonna dance around the threats in order to keep a bishop. Like, no, complete development, be safe, have all your pieces off. You have an isolated pawn to play against. This was ridiculous, this move. Okay. So that's going to be it. Hopefully tomorrow I will feel comfortable enough with the closed variation, particularly the Martinez, that I am able to talk about it. Hopefully tomorrow I can also do like the Riga and the other sideline and the other variation, and also do the sidelines before the closed position, kind of, or I think within the closed position, but just not when they play. Just without b5, I think, is probably the sidelines for the closed part that I'm reading. But I don't know if I'll really get to all of it. Also, I should maybe change the way in which I go about all this. This whole like cramming everything into like an opening book thing so I can train it later and use that kind of like as a puzzle, because you know, I mean, I shouldn't really memorize every line in there. Some of them are very obscure and very long. But I put them in there because, you know, it'll get me familiar with ideas. Because even if I don't remember, it's kind of like a puzzle, or maybe it's in between, and I think that's pretty good for improvement. But yeah, it's kind of a mess, and I think I would have more fun focusing on endgames than I would spending every, you know, hour cramming that into a chess book. I mean, I did do other things. Also, I was studying in a study pod. That's such a stupid name. I hate calling it. I don't know why. It just sounds kind of childish to me. But in my apartment down in the lounge area, and there's like small things there, and somebody noticed me like studying chess, and then I played some chess games against them, which was pretty fun. Yeah. Okay. I guess I should end the recording.